Hello everybody, this is Alex from soyachincha.com, and today we're gonna unbox the new iPad. So this is the entry-level iPad and it's now in its 7th generation. And I reckon that this is the most important iPad yet for Apple. The unit which we have right here is the Wi-Fi and cellular version. So that means it can support 4G LTE as well as Wi-Fi, and it comes with 128GB. And in terms of colors, it has 3 options. There's space gray, silver and gold. And what we have here is space gray, which is my favorite color. So without further ado, let's unbox the iPad. So nothing fancy about the box. It looks like a typical iPad. Get a knife. Let's get rid of this plastic. Alright, let's pop the top. Alright, that's it. And we have the new iPad. So the space gray version comes with an all black front for a more sleeker look. And inside here you get a small little like envelope box that contains your typical manuals and 2 Apple stickers. Since this is an LTE version, you also get a SIM ejector tool. And you also get a USB A to lightning cable. Like any typical iPhone, it doesn't use USB Type-C just yet because that's reserved for the 3rd generation iPad Pro. And you also get this 2-piece power adapter. And since we are in Malaysia, we're getting the UK 3-pin set. And according to this is a 10-watt version. So it's faster than what you get on the iPhone 11, 10 watt, pretty decent. Not exactly fast, but it's quick enough. And to put it together, just slide it right in. Yep, that's it. That's pretty much it. Nothing else in the box. Alright, let me just put the rest aside and we jump right into the new 7th gen iPad. Let's remove this plastic. Ooh, space gray looks pretty good. Looks a bit like gunmetal, you can see here. And since this is the LTE version, you notice that there's this band at the top. So this is used to house the antenna bands for 4G LTE. At the back, it looks like a normal iPad. You got the Apple logo in the middll. There's also the 3.5mm headphone jack. And since this uses LTE, you also get a SIM tray slot down here. At the bottom, you get 2 down-firing speakers and also the typical lightning port for charging and data transfer. And what's new on the new iPad 7th gen is that you get this smart connector. So this is used to connect to a smart keyboard. So finally, on the cheapest iPad, you can connect a smart keyboard for a more productivity setup. So this can be a viable computer replacement. Without further ado, let's just switch on the device. Okay, I finished setting up the device. So essentially, the iPad 7th gen is actually very similar to the 6th gen model. There's only 3 big differences between the 2 models. Firstly, the screen has been upgraded to a 10.2-inch screen, up from a 9.7. And in terms of display, it's a typical Retina display with 264 ppi density, and it pushes 500 nits, and you don't get True Tone like you get on the iPad Air or iPad Pro. And the second biggest difference is that it comes with a smart connector. So this allows you to connect to a smart keyboard. And of course, if you get the LTE version, Apple has upgraded the LTE modem. So now it supports more bands with up to gigabit speeds. And for the first time on the entry-level iPad, you also can support eSIM. So that allows you to stay connected onto a mobile network without requiring a physical SIM card. So you can just get a QR code scan and you're connected to LTE. In terms of processor, it still runs on the same Apple A10 Fusion chip, which essentially is the same processor as the iPhone 7. Yes, it's quite dated, but for my usage, it's still quite smooth, it's still quite competent. You're going to use it for web browsing, replying emails, or watching Netflix videos. And in terms of cameras, you still get an 8-megapixel camera behind here that can shoot 1080p videos. In terms of overall dimensions, it's noticeably larger. In fact, the footprint of the iPad in terms of height and width is similar to the iPad Air and the 2nd generation iPad Pro. Well, let's do a quick comparison. So just check it out. So in the middle here is the new iPad 7th gen. It has the same height and width as the 2nd generation iPad Pro that has 10.5 inches. So this is actually the same dimensions as the new iPad Air. So you can notice that although the body is similar, the screen is slightly smaller. And if you compare next to the 6th gen iPad that has a 9.7-inch screen, you can see that the screen is noticeably larger. The whole size is smaller and the screen is smaller too. So I guess you will appreciate the larger display. But in terms of display itself, right, obviously it's not as good as the iPad Pro, because the iPad Pro, you can support 120Hz ProMotion, so that gives it a more fluid display. And if you look closely at the edges, it doesn't have as much gap as the iPad. So the iPad, right, if you look at the sides, you notice that the screen, there's a little bit of gap in between. It could be an issue for some people, but for me, it's fine. If you look straight all the time, not a biggie. And then again, this is an entry-level iPad that starts from 1,449 ringgit. And there's a reason why the new iPad has the same dimensions as the iPad Pro 2nd Gen and the iPad Air. And that's because of the smart keyboard. So this smart keyboard is the exact same version that's supported on the other two models. Let's just unbox it. Let's cut this open. Quite a compact box. This smart keyboard is for the 7th generation iPad, the 3rd generation iPad Air, and the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. This is a bunch of manuals which nobody reads. And there you have it, the smart keyboard, and you can snap it directly onto the base. My only complaint with the smart keyboard is that it only provides protection for the front display, and that leaves the back exposed. If you want the full protection, well, they have the newer folio keyboard that's available for the 3rd Gen iPad Pro, so that protects both the front and the back. One thing about the new smart keyboard is that it provides a slim profile, so it's attached by magnets, and you can use it to stand like a normal computer, like this, with a decent tilt, or you can use it as a stand when you want to use to watch videos, like that. So those are the two modes, and you want to keep it, just flip it back to the front, and that's it. And the good thing about the smart keyboard is that you don't need to charge it, unlike a Bluetooth keyboard whereby you need to charge it separately and you need to pair it manually, and once you attach it in, you can start typing. I like the spacing of the keys. It doesn't have much travel, but it works just well. It's quite comfortable to type actually. One thing to take note is that the smart keyboard doesn't come with any backlighting, so do take note that if you plan to use this in dark situations. And of course, like the previous generation iPad, you can also use the Apple Pencil, which is a pretty nifty tool, and to pair it is very simple. You just open the cap and plug it in. And that's also how you're going to charge it, which looks pretty silly to be honest, but you don't need to carry a spare cable to charge it, and can charge straight away. As you can see, when you plug it in, it automatically pushes a pairing request. So just tap on pair, and yep, that's it. The pencil is good to go. And of course, the new iPad still retains the traditional home button, which has built-in Touch ID, so you can just use your finger to unlock the device very easily. And with iPad OS, you can do a whole lot more. They've improved the multitasking experience with the new multi-window, and they also made the Apple Pencil more responsive, and they've made a couple of tweaks to make the whole experience a whole lot better. One of my favorite features with iPad OS is Sidecar, so you can use the iPad as a second screen for your Mac. It connects wirelessly and it works like magic. Apart from having a secondary display, you can use this as like a Wacom input device, so you can draw directly to your Mac applications right from your iPad screen, and that's pretty cool. All these new upgraded features, Apple has retained the same starting price for the iPad that starts from 1,449 ringgit, and that's for the base model with 32 gigs of storage with Wi-Fi. And if you want more storage, you can get 128 gigs for 1,849 ringgit, so that's 400 ringgit for 4 times the storage. If you want to use the iPad on the go, there's also the cellular version with built-in 4G LTE, and that starts from 1,999 ringgit for the 32 gigs version and 2,399 ringgit for the 128 gigs variant. So that's it. So that's a quick unboxing and hands-on with the new 7th generation iPad. I think Apple has done a great job with this device. Finally, you can use the Apple Pencil as well as the smart keyboard on the cheapest model. What do you think of the new iPad? Is this something worth considering, and would you use this as a computer replacement at home? Well, let us know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you'll be informed of our next videos. Don't forget to check out the latest video here. And also another awesome video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!